Welcome to the Designated Drinkers Podcast. Sit back and enjoy the ride.
Young man. Young man. Young man.
Give us your sled. Never. You fool! Get him! Oh, my nuts!
You fool! Let me show you how to
Steal a sled. Wait, what are you doing?
That's called hungry dog eats shit, huh?
Hey guys, welcome to the Designated Drinkers Podcast. Today we have a live audience. So hey, live audience. Woohoo! Joining us today is a bunch of really cool people and not usually the regular members besides myself and
Angelo.
And we are also joined by
Rob.
And our very special guest,
Chris Hoy.
Hey Chris.
Sorry about my voice.
No, don't worry about it. What's up? How's it going?
Nothing, man. I was chewing on ginger root. You ever do that?
No.
Well, you shouldn't, because that's what your voice will sound like.
I thought you were going with a,
You thought I was going to say cock.
No! I thought you were going with a fucking, what's the thing, Gilligan's Island reference. You're just chewing on ginger
Isn't
a little
it
bit.
funny? Now as you age, it changes, like, whether or not you like ginger or Marianne.
I don't know which one is which.
Yes, you do. Ginger was the movie star.
The redhead.
The movie star.
The red?
Yeah.
The president,
Okay.
Marianne.
Marianne was the girl next door.
There you go.
You probably had a thing for the...
Skipper?
Yeah.
I like him. I like him a little thicker.
I don't blame you.
What are you gonna do?
I never watched Gilligan's Island because it was, before I was born.
Shut your ass.
My god.
It was in syndication,
Dude,
you
they've
fuck.
had reruns like on every station. It's the worst show I could ever remember. I wanted to strangle that Gilligan every single episode. I stopped watching it. It was like Three's Company. I hated Jack. Guy lived with two girls. I mean, dude,
And
you
never got laid.
still can't pull it off. you got no game at all, man.
Hey Chris, you run a school, right? Something like that?
Yeah, martial arts school. Yeah.
Oh, cool. How do you like that?
Well, I love it, man. I've been doing. I've had my school since 1999, so that's 18 years. We originally, when we started, we opened up and we subleased it for a few months, and then we opened up in March of 2000. So I guess I subleased a place for like 6 months, and we opened up down by the Cleveland Zoo in this amazing facility that used to be a lodge hall called the International Order of Oddfellows. And my plan was going in and opening this was I was only going to teach adults. I didn't like teaching kids. I was too cool for that. I just wanted fighters. I wanted trained badasses.
What did you teach then?
I taught Kali, Filipino Kali, which is a weapon-based martial arts system. And I taught Indonesian Silat. And then the main program was Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do. I'm third generation direct descendant from Bruce Lee.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, I thought, well, I'm gonna put Bruce Lee's name up on the wall, and I put it on the big sign. Man, I spent like $4,000 on this gigantic sign, and when you're 25 years old and you don't have any money, $4,000. That's a lot of ramen noodles,
Yeah.
man. And I eat a lot of ramen noodles because I had to. So, in fact, it's kind of funny that Marissa's sitting here right now. We didn't even say Marissa's name. She's sitting here chilling.
Right. That's why I mentioned our live audience. You guys
Marissa.
wanna introduce yourselves, live audience? Hey, we're joined by
Marissa. Diane.
Hey guys, thank you for joining us as our live audience, and you guys can also chip in whatever you think.
Well, the funny thing is, you probably don't know this. Marissa's mom and dad were my first students.
Really?
Yeah, but way back in the Kali days. And this is how it happened. The instructor didn't show up, and I was the most senior rank guy there. So I was like, okay, well, let's just start. I'm sure he'll be here soon. And then it was the end of the class, and one of the other instructors in the Taekwondo program came over to me and said, where did you teach before? And I said, I didn't teach anywhere. And the guy says, wow, you're pretty good at this stuff. You should think about teaching. And that's another story for another day. So I opened the school and I put, the sign said, Hoy's Martial Arts Academy, Junfan Jeet. So everybody knows what Junfan means?
Nope.
Well, yeah, but I fucking thought everybody did. I was waiting for the doors to like just get knocked down, man. I was like, all right, they're gonna see Bruce Lee's name because Junfan is Bruce Lee's name in Chinese, and well, guess what happened? The doors didn't get knocked down. In fact, I had like 8 guys, and no offense to any of you guys that are still out there if you're listening, it was a very diverse group. I had a couple badasses, I had a couple fat asses. True story, man. I had a couple crazy guys. Had a couple guys that were doing it. They were professionals, and I was like, hey, man, don't these guys get it? I'm looking for badasses. It's Jeet Kune Do. We're badass. So yeah, I did that at that school. I was there for like 5 years, and after the second year, I realized, you should probably teach kids because you're in a shitty neighborhood. Sorry to my old neighborhood, by the way. I grew up over there on West 11th. So to all my old Brooklyn peeps, there's a shout out for you. That's all you're getting. Because I'm like George and Wheezy. I moved on out.
Up, you bastard.
I was over in the old neighborhood today, actually. I went to the Memphis Sausage Shop.
Oh, nice.
They're closing. They've been there 80 years.
Is that the place you told me to go to get
Dude, if you don't go soon, you're gonna miss out.
Pork chops or something like that?
No, they've got the best garlic bologna you've ever had in your life.
Okay.
Like, dude, your old lady will not come near you. Really, I used it in part of my jujitsu tonight.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Right?
Quick question.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned Bruce Lee, and
Yes.
actually, when we talked about it, you said, we can talk about anything, so...
You can ask me anything.
Right. What do you think about the oversaturation of, like, Bruce Lee in nowadays? Like, there's just a new movie that just came out on it.
It's a bullshit movie, too.
Really?
Yeah, it's bullshit. I remember, and I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but I'll tell you that there were some very high-level first generation and second generation students of Bruce Lee that were furious about that movie.
Really?
Yeah, but here's the problem. In the Chinese culture, they don't want to be disrespectful to Bruce in Bruce's memory in any way. And who runs his estate? His daughter. So they don't want to be disrespectful to her, but it's got fucking Bruce Lee on shot glasses. It's bullshit.
Right.
Bruce Lee led such a clean lifestyle when it came to that. And you're going to put him on a goddamn shot glass so that your retirement's better? That's bullshit. I'll say it, because I don't give a fuck.
Have you seen Bruce T?
That's bullshit, too.
Yeah.
Right?
Here's my question.
Yeah.
I have him hanging on my Christmas tree.
You got Bruce
that
Lee
bullshit?
hanging on your Christmas tree?
Yeah. Yeah, I got a Bruce Lee ornament.
No, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And no, I'm not in any way like bashing him. I just think that, and I don't think you are either.
I'm not. People are trying to make money off of Bruce
Right.
Lee, and here's the reason why. Because they didn't patent Bruce Lee the way they patented Elvis, which is a funny story that we can't talk about in the podcast, but people can Google that stuff and find out all the information about, Bruce Lee being patented and all that stuff, Because they didn't do it till, 30 years after his death.
Really?
Yeah, he died in 73, so let's see, 83, 93, 2003. It was about 2003 when they really tried to make money off of him. They were sending attorneys to Bruce Lee seminars to see if, Bruce Lee, not Bruce Lee seminars. What I mean by that is, if there were people teaching Jeet Kune Do at a seminar, they were sending, and like the flyer would say, Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do this weekend. So we won't say who it is, would send their attorneys because they wanted a portion of that. Then when they realized there were 13 fucking people there that wanted to train JKD and get punched in the face, they're like, oh, these guys have no money. They're fucking idiots. They get punched in the face every day. This is stupid. And they stopped, but it's a shame because it turned so many people off. It's the reason you didn't see Bruce Lee on magazine covers anymore because they were so afraid of being sued.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big bummer, especially
It is.
with such a big name on it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it hurt Jeet Kune Do as far as the schools go because people, myself included, I backed off, man. I was like, I don't want to get sued. when I was under Sifu Cass Magda, I mean, Sifu Cass sat on the Bruce Lee Educational Foundation. He was part of the Nucleus, which was a fantastic organization, a fantastic idea. Yeah,
What was the Nucleus?
The Nucleus was something where they brought all of the original students together, and Sifu Cass may have been one of the only board members to be second generation. But they brought them all together, and they wanted to keep the art alive. They wanted to keep everything, continuing, but they didn't want to start something where it was going to be like they were certifying people on the weekends. That was the thing they were against, because what happened in Jeet Kune Do, right? Yeah, we had a fucking asshole do that here. Remember that? Yeah. I forgot about it till a second. This asshole was taking private lessons from me. He's in prison now, so he'll probably hear this. And Phil Robertson, you know who I'm talking about. So if you're listening to this one, you'll be like, "Oh, I remember that asshole. Yeah, Chris wanted to kick that guy in the fucking teeth." Well, yeah, because he's taking private lessons from me, right?
Okay.
And he comes over, he's like, "Hey, man, I'm going to go train with Lamar Davis this weekend. I'm going to get certified." And he goes, "Certified in what?" He goes, "Jeet Kune Do." "What are you talking about?" "Yeah, he's going to certify me this weekend." I'm like, "Dude, somebody certifies you in a weekend. What does that even mean to you?" Like, so hold on, you go train with somebody for, let's say, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You don't sleep and you train for 48 fucking hours. Are you fucking kidding me? You mean tens of thousands of hours of battle hours I put on the mat? You're going to fucking tell me that a piece of paper that says I certify you in Jeet Kune Do? Kiss my ass. So I told him, I'm like, "Dude, you ain't fucking taking lessons from me anymore then. Bye." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "You want to be under somebody else? Bye." And he didn't get it. He was like, I don't understand. Like, this is the problem with Jeet Kune Do. A lot of guys saw the way to make money was to make other people instructors. Instructors should be people, and pardon my French, because I'm hanging out with all my dudes, so I'm like cussing like a sailor that's next to me.
No, I mean, if you're a listener of the podcast and if you're somebody new, we don't censor ourselves.
It's not kid friendly.
It's not in any way kid friendly.
No,
No.
not at all.
Should have said that.
There's a
at the
rating
beginning.
on it.
Yeah,
No,
When you
there's,
look up the podcast,
Yeah,
it is definitely an adult rating.
there's an explicit rating on our podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
so there's.
Good.
I mean, if you click on a link, it's not going to say it, but if you go download it, it gives you that explicit.
It's a
rating.
long-standing tradition that we fuck a lot.
It's funny because as I think about this, I get, "Stop looking at your goddamn phone, Rob." You're on a podcast. Guys, it's like he's going on a date and he's looking at his phone. Put that phone down. So, here's the thing. In the way I looked at it was, I trained with almost every original student of Bruce Lee. First one I trained with was Sifu Larry Hartzell. Larry Hartzell was known as the grappling expert under Bruce Lee. He was the grappling expert because the biggest, strongest motherfucker you'd ever want to tie hands with. I mean, the dude was a beast. I trained with Guru Dan Asano, who was Bruce Lee's right-hand man, multiple times, probably over the years, 18, 20 times, but you have to go to seminars. The guy teaches. I think he still teaches at 80 years old.
Yep.
I think he's still over 40 seminars a year.
Wow.
At 80 years old. And that's all over the world, man. Can you imagine that travel? And he's got a school, which I don't know where that is now. I know it's in California, but I can never remember if that's Marina Del Rey or if that's the old school. Sifu Cass was my instructor for 19 years. I trained a lot under Sifu Chris Kent. I've got nothing but respect for him. He is the JKD maestro. The late Sifu Dave Carnell, who was probably the best goddamn JKD guy on the planet. Richie Bastillo. The late Richie Bastillo. The late... his Dan Lee passed too.
Dan Lee.
The late Ted Wong. I never got to train with Taki. Taki would never come out. He was sort of in semi-retirement. I did get to train with two other badasses that a lot of people don't know. Bob Bremer, who was Bruce's hammer. I mean, that was like, if you were a fuck up, Bruce would sick Bob Bremer on you.
Really?
Yeah, he was an old crane operator. He was strong as fucking iron, man. Oh my God. He'd give you that look from across the room when he was watching you spar. Like, and he was old then, and he'd look across the room like, "I could still kick your ass." See that 20-year-old there? I'd kick his ass. I'd knock his dick in the dirt. That's the look he always had. And I got to train with Nuclear Pete Jacobs. Pete Jacobs was unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. And then the other one, and most of these people that I was able to train with was because of Siva Cass. Siva Cass would bring these guys in. And Herbie Jackson. Herbie Jackson was great. A lot of these guys were not, well, most of them were not professional teachers. So when they would teach in a group, it was kind of funny because they were almost like uncomfortable, you know. But there were a lot of great times spent at the Magnet Institute, you know, in Reseda. I had some of my best friends out there. Some are no longer with us, you know. But yeah, some really, really good times.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Reseda.
Yeah.
Isn't that where
yeah, it is.
Daniel LaRusso was from?
Karate Kid. So here I am.
Well, that's where you moved from?
This is a hilarious story. So I get a call, 1997, I think it was. Started training with Siva Cass in 96.
Okay.
I think my first introduction to him was because of a guy that we lovingly called Stuttering Dave Balchin. And if you don't know anything about the nicknames at our school, we have lousy nicknames. The reason we called Stuttering Dave is because he stuttered, right?
Not very inventive.
No,
Not very
the
inventive
reason, you know, we had a guy at my school named Tall Rob is because he was very tall, Rob. You're very tall. Do we have a nickname for him?
No.
No.
Not yet.
Sometimes we call him Anchor. We call you an Anchor.
Angry Man.
Angry
That
bird.
You're very quiet tonight, too.
I'm not that angry all the time. Well, what you're saying is interesting, so I'm kind of trying to pay
Oh,
attention.
sorry.
Right, no,
It's a little more
I think we all kind of got quiet.
Nonsense that usually comes out of your mouth.
Yeah, he's on a date room.
We kind of got quiet because we're really, really interested. it's all, like, we kind of all just...
See, and I don't really talk about the Bruce Lee thing anymore because I figure most people don't even know. Most people don't care. They just want to hit the pads. You know?
I don't know, man.
Cool.
Yeah, it's legitimately cool. What made you get started in martial arts?
So it was 1986 is when I got started. I grew up on West 11th in Spring. So
In Cleveland?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I jokingly say to people, but I'm 1,000% serious, I fought every goddamn day. And you either had to learn how to fight when you got off the school bus or learn how to run real fast. You ever see me run, bro?
No.
It's fucking horrible.
He runs like a girl.
I like my chances in a foot race.
You're going to catch me. You're going to catch me.
I make fun of people that run.
Oh, dude. But I developed one of the best headlocks.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my God. Guys would scream. I thought it was great. It was like Rob's. Yeah, Rob's got a great headlock. But I really wanted to learn how to defend myself. And it's kind of funny as I think back then, me and my buddies would always try to do WWE in the backyard, which was WWF then, you know. And I'd pile drive my friends into the ground. They'd DDT me into the ground. It's a wonder any of us lived.
Nice.
Right? Yeah, I mean, we're like 12
Fuck
years
yeah.
old. So I started at Karate Institute. It was on West 25th. And, wait, let me back up. In the old neighborhood, you don't fucking call that West 25th. It's Broadview and Pearl, all right? West 25th is over the bridge. All right? We've got standards, you know what I mean? You people over on Denison, you're West 25th. We were Broadview and Pearl. I didn't live in the ghetto.
Right. I mean, that's exactly it. I lived on Memphis.
Yes.
But if you went over the bridge, that was the ghetto.
And as long as you were, you were east of Fulton. You were in the hood.
Yeah. Hey. I was close to the hood.
Yes.
I wasn't in it.
No, you were
is
in
what
it,
I tell myself.
Yeah, you were smack dab in it next to the Drew Carey bar.
Yeah, that's right. I was next to the fucking bar.
Yeah, so I think, honestly, and Angela's going to laugh his ass off, but I watched The Karate Kid back then 63 times.
I did too.
You know why I know it was 63 times?
Yeah.
This is a funny story, and I don't want to go too into this.
No, go ahead.
My mom, after my dad passed, my mom had to work from 8 in the morning till 8 at night. So you can imagine how tired she was. She works in a greenhouse. She worked at Richardson's greenhouse for like 30 years. A greenhouse is always hot, right? Even in the wintertime, it's still pretty warm in there. Poor lady would come home. We would order a large pizza from Teddy's Pizza, and she'd get a 6-pack of Pepsi so often that all I'd have to do is call and start reciting the order, and they would tell me my address, right? So the reason I'm telling you that is because every night, my friend had dubbed a copy of Karate Kid. Every night, I'd say, Mom, let's watch Karate Kid. Because her boyfriend had bought her a VCR. And it was 1986. You know how much a VCR was then?
No.
Bro, it was like $400.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Like, it was crazy, right? I watched The Karate Kid 63 times, and my mom fell asleep in it 63 times. She would last about 15 minutes, and then I'd watch the whole thing. And then I'd, walk around the house, wakes up, brush up, brush down.
Sand the floor.
Sand the floor.
Sand the floor.
Side to side. Yeah. So, there was a karate institute up the street, and one of the moms, what was her name? Debbie Zemla. Debbie and Max Zemla, and her son, Matt Zemla, who was one of my best friends when we were little kids. She kind of looked out for me, especially after my dad died. Things I know now, but I didn't really realize then. And said to my mom, hey, Karate Institute is offering some summer program. It's 3 months for, I don't know, $100. I think Chris would really benefit from it. So we went, and I did the 3 months. And then everybody quit, right, at the end of the summer. Well, my mom couldn't afford, whatever the tuition was. I don't know what it was. She just said she couldn't afford it. So lo and behold, there's a guy across the street from me in the projects, which opened up, those were built in probably 85, on West 11th there, or on Spring right there. And he was teaching Kung Fu in the, what do you call that center area of the projects?
Courtyard type?
Yeah, in the courtyard. He was teaching Kung Fu. So I saw him out there, so I walk over, and he's got this goofy fucking guy in a satin Kung Fu jacket. And he's got like that.
That's amazing.
Oh, dude, he's got like the hippie faraway eyes, and this guy's taking lessons, right? But the instructor was a badass Vietnam vet named Dennis Martinez.
Okay.
He taught a style named 5-animal Kung Fu, 5-animal style Kung Fu. And he became my Sifu for about a year. And years later, I taught his kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when he got sick, I taught his kids. I trained them for about a year, and then this crazy thing happened called puberty. And
I thought you were going into something else.
I was very much trying to go into something else. Yeah. Like I wasted all of my energy and all of my time trying to go somewhere else. Yes. Oh my. So from 9th grade up until 12th grade, I didn't train. I thought about training all the time. I worked a job to chase after girls, so I had a car, so I could date girls, so that I could have money, so that I could date girls. And not a great idea. Just train. Go train jujitsu. And
They
then,
flock to you after
Dude.
that.
I was 18. I graduated. I went right into the world, the real working world, and I got in a lot of trouble, financial trouble. I was making a lot of piss poor decisions, supporting all my deadbeat buddies because I was the only one working.
Yeah.
I had an apartment. They were coming over, like we're hanging out right now. They would come over and bring nothing. And I was the only one that would work, so then I'd have to buy food to support their dead asses, and then we'd hang out at Space Invaders. And one night at Space Invaders, I had a gun pulled on me by a guy. Can I say the name?
You can say whatever you want, man.
Yeah, by Fred Wells. So Fred pulled a gun on me. He thought I was banging his girlfriend. The worst part was I wasn't. I wasn't going anywhere near her. I wasn't doing anything at all, right? But he was convinced I was. And I was 19. And he pulls a gun on me. I'm in the parking lot of Space Invaders, right there at, what is that, Pearl and Fulton area, right?
I've
Pearl
never heard
Plaza.
of Space Invaders.
Stop it.
No, dude,
Shut
never
your
heard
mouth,
of them.
dude. That's like,
Classic game.
no, Space Invaders was the place. It was
yeah,
an
I
arcade.
know the game. I just never heard of the place.
It was an arcade, and my cousin ran it. He was a cousin, wasn't a real cousin. He was just like a good family friend. He was a real douche, actually. As I think back,
Your perspective of him completely changed.
Yeah, I'm like,
good. Yeah, fuck that
no,
guy.
he's a real turd. But luckily, they had a Cleveland cop working off duty, working the parking lot because there were a lot of punk ass kids smoking weed and shit like that out there. He saw something was wrong. We were all the way over by Pearl Road. He came up behind them. And there were 4 guys. There was a big guy. This big guy Kelsey I went to school with. John Medlong. John Medlong
really?
was there. Yeah. John Medlong was there. Let's see who else was there. Jim Bias. I feel like there was one more guy. But
You and John go way back, don't you?
high school. Yeah, I
Oh,
went to
wow,
high school with 2 of those guys, and they just happened to be with this cat tonight. I don't know if this guy told him he was going to do it or not. You have to ask John that one. I don't think he did because John would have stepped in.
Right.
So this guy pulls a gun on me, and he tells me he's going to shoot me, blah, blah. And, this cop, he had 2 first names. So he had 2 first names, and you know the story, never trust anybody with 2 first names.
Right.
This guy saved my life, man. Came up behind him, put the guy in a stranglehold. I can't remember if Fred got arrested. I know he took the gun. And it was, it was one of those moments where I went, what the fuck am I doing? I need to get back in martial arts. So I, subsequently, it's kind of funny, like whenever you want to do something, something always appears. You know what I mean? You're ready to learn. And I was driving down Ridge Road, and there was this little handwritten sign. It looked like a little kid wrote it in crayon in the window, and it said, you know how when a kid writes and it starts off with a real big letter, and then by the end of their sentence it's real little? That's what it looked like. It said, Philippine Institute of Martial Arts. And I asked a buddy of mine that I worked with, he was from California. I says, hey man, you ever heard of Filipino martial arts? I grew up with a lot of Filipinos. I didn't know they had no martial arts. And he goes, dude, are you kidding me? That's like, it's one of the most sophisticated martial arts styles in the world. You got to find out about that place. You got to tell me. So I go in, check the place out. I'm hooked. I trained Kali there from 1993 up until early, mid-99, and that's when I went on my own. I was under Siva Cass starting in 98, and I was trying to figure out, how to serve 2 masters, that sort of thing, and was kind of hoping that the other guy was going to go in with Siva Cass. That was what Siva Cass had originally hoped for as well, but I don't think the guy's ego would allow him to be under anybody.
Philippine. I've actually been meaning to ask you. Right next to Harbs, there's a place that says Philippine Institute.
Yeah, that's the same place.
Is it really?
They moved. So he had some financial troubles at the one on. Let me do my math here. They started out on Snow Road in the early '90s, like '91, maybe 90. They moved over on Ridge and Westlake in Parma. I think that was the name of the street. And right across the street from the number 1 lounge, we'll just use a landmark there. And then they moved to Royalton.
Okay.
Right? And then it was funny because after 5 years of me being at my place on 25th, we lost the lease. The landlord put the building up for sale. It still hasn't sold, by the way. Landlord put the building up for sale, and that was a little jab at you. I'm just name dropping left and right.
Right. I mean, if at any point...
I shouldn't do that. You might want to edit that.
No, whatever you want me to edit, you just tell me and then...
Yeah, edit out the part.
Hey, Joe, just edit that. Because Joe's the guy that edits.
Thanks, Joe. You're the man.
Yeah,
I'll never fly in a plane with you, but you're the man.
We're going to put a beep because we're going to keep that whole thing now.
I'm putting that in there.
Just put a beep.
I'll never fly in a plane with you.
Never going to fly.
No, that's a true story. You got a lot of balls flying on a plane with that guy. You're lucky you didn't get a full cavity search.
Dude, I'm pretty sure he got... I don't remember this. It's been like a minute now, but I'm pretty sure he got stopped. Right? And then our friend...
Why do you think that is?
Right. Our other friend, he also went with us, and we told him. We're like, hey, man, when you come in, you're bringing a bunch of shit into the U.S., just tell them, you're bringing a little bit of food. That's it.
Oh, no, he's one of those that told him everything.
Oh, dude, he told them everything. And the moment that he did... They were like, "Oh, okay, cool." As he's walking, he's like, "Oh, before you go, can you go over there?" And we're waiting for him. We're like, "Oh shit, dude, our flight's gonna be like boarding in a minute." We're waiting.
Oh,
and then he comes out. He's like, "Oh man, they checked all my stuff." I was like, "What did I fucking say, man? What the fuck did I say?" Right. So either way, you listen to the podcast. You know who you are.
Yeah. So what were we talking about?
You got a gun pulled on you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what got me started. I was always so unbelievably obsessed with Bruce Lee. I remember there's a guy in the phone book. I looked it up in 1993. I looked it up in the phone book. Might have been 92 actually. Mm-hmm. Guy had a big ad in the phone book. It said Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune, so I called it. It was disconnected. Because that guy would never pay his bills. And if you're listening, you know exactly who you are. Because you always teach out of your house. And you keep telling people you're going to move to California, but you never do.
I'm sensing some bitterness here.
Like people say they're going to do something, don't do it.
Right.
Should get off the pot, man. It's been 20 years.
I get a sense of like... That sense of the martial art was very like... On its like... Secluded.
Dude,
and
it was on the brink of becoming what Jujitsu became. It was on every magazine cover.
Really? Okay.
And they had the nucleus. Everything was going great. And then, other people wanted to make money off of it. Uh-huh. And it was like this negative energy just came in. and sucked the life out of all that good stuff that was going on.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there were so many people who were like, yeah, we're not even going to say we're teaching Jeet Kune at a seminar. Just, you know what, say we're teaching Silat, we'll teach Jeet Kune, but don't say anything.
Oh, wow.
You know? Yeah, because Kali, Silat, and Jeet Kune are almost synonymously taught together, you know.
And you teach all three?
I do. I was certified in all three. I actually turned down my last certification.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I knew I was going to leave. I was really upset by some things that happened. The way one of my best friends had decided to take his own life. He was on staff at the Magna Institute, and I was upset by some of the way that things were handled. With him, it really, really ate at me every day because Arnie was the lifeblood of that school, and. I was just shocked at some of the things that happened. And, in hindsight, I was wrong. My instructor just dealt with grief differently than I did. Mm-hmm. And I was wrong to be so angry about it. And then when Sifu Dave died, when Sifu Dave Carnell had passed away, and I was really, blown away that was Sifu Cass's best guy. He was also his best friend. And I was just so distraught that he didn't go to the funeral and support his guys. And it was at that time that I just felt like, whoa, this isn't about family. This is just about the business end. F this, I don't want to be part of this. Once again, looking back, I was probably wrong. It was probably just a different way that he dealt with grief than I do. I'm more of an emotional guy that, I flew all the way out to LA. Arnie, one of my best friends killed himself. What the fuck? Of course you go out. Right?
Right.
But there are other people that deal with grief differently, and they think, hey, that guy's, he's passed. There's nothing I can do. And so, that really changed things for me. And when I was told, I was going to be promoted to the next one, I'm like, I don't want that. I just want to train. Because that's it. I just want to train. I don't give a shit about the piece of paper on the wall. Right. I couldn't even tell you where any of those certificates are. They're in a drawer. Diane, do you know where they are?
I don't. I haven't found them yet. I will.
For our podcast listeners, Diane's been reorganizing the back of the school. So
we all been chipping
of course. I'm not
did
saying
you see
that.
my construction back there? I almost killed somebody.
Really?
Yeah, almost died Wednesday night. We almost had to roll him out to the dumpster. I almost killed a man that looks just like an Italian mastiff, who might be a with fucked up ears.
Cut that! God damn it!
They're in enough fucking trouble as it is, okay?
Sorry about that.
What made you move to California? I've always wanted to ask you.
I didn't move out there. I would go out there to train. So
okay.
What I would do is it was a form of distance training. And I think back then, the first one I did was in 98. I had no idea what was going on. I was invited out there. I had no idea why. I'd never been on a plane before, bro. I was scared to death. So, I probably called the airline and probably spent $800 on a plane ticket because I didn't even know how to get a plane ticket, So I remember packing ramen noodles, and it's a common theme. I don't eat ramen noodles anymore because of this, and a lot of protein bars, and all my gear, and got off at LAX. I must have looked like Balky,
Cosinelli?
Yes, right. I got off the plane. I'm like, oh my God, there's palm trees. Holy shit! I might never come home. And this guy pulled up, man, in this sweet ass taxi. It was sweet because it was a little lower than all the rest. He was this Latino dude. He's like, hey man, he's looking around. He was like, you need to go somewhere? I'm like, yeah, I need to go to Reseda. He's like, jump in. Well, here what the dude had done, I didn't know. He jumped the line of taxis. Right? He picks me up. Who knows if he was even a fucking taxi driver, right? And he's like, where are you going to go? I'm like, Reseda. He's like, where's that? I'm like, I don't know, bro. I'm from Cleveland. He's like, right on. We'll figure it out. So we're on the 405, and I'll never forget this. These cars are so close to one another on the 405, dude. They're every car has scrape marks on the side. Those people out there are nuts.
Right.
Yeah, the way they drive, they're absolutely insane. Stay out there, though. Don't ruin the rest of the country.
You guys hear about that fucking fire in California?
It's terrible. I was just talking to a friend of mine out there about it.
Man.
Yeah, it's real bad. Real bad. They said they could see smoke in their front.
Fuck, man. I hope everyone around here is okay. We really, really
Yeah.
Hope everyone,
How about all those
safe.
wineries? It's funny. Arnie's ex-wife actually has a winery out there with her husband now, and I wonder how many wineries were destroyed in that last one. For all you wine drinkers.
Price of wine is about to go up,
Dude, Rob's like, my Cabernet.
Cabernet's a hell of a buzz.
Hey man, did you just say prices are gonna go up?
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah, they are.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Supply and demand.
You
man.
should
There's gonna be a
invest in
shortage.
it now.
Right. No.
Yeah.
I guess that's probably a good idea.
Buy low, sell high.
Better yet, you should start a vinery.
Dude, did you guys
Vineyard.
Right.
You know,
A
you
wine
know
binder.
somebody
A vinery.
who bottles their own wine.
I know some shiz.
Who?
Scott?
Yoda.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yoda
Hey,
bottles.
I should
his
probably
own
talk
wine.
to them about that.
Yeah.
They're building that winery on 176.
I think a
in
couple of
Boston,
them are
right
in
there.
on
Cool.
it. I think Scott and Tim and
They'll
Mark.
buy
Yeah, we know
their
a
own
family's
wine.
doing that. That's gonna
Yeah,
be really,
they go
it's gonna
out
be
and
really
they pick grapes from someplace out in.
That's a
you know-
very I'm not gonna lie, that's a very like posh thing to do.
Hoity-toity.
Yeah, hoity-toity.
Once
thing
you
to
start
do.
drinking wine, it doesn't seem like that.
You know,
at all.
in Peru, the best,
Blitz.
the coolest thing that they do in
craft
Peru
beer,
is
yeah,
they
that's
do a
posh.
wine, like a grape dancing dance.
Dude, fuck that. The coolest thing they do in Peru is ayahuasca.
I mean, yeah, okay, I'll give you that. We had a guy. Do you guys remember that guy? Let's not name him, but
No, I know you two you're talking about. Yeah, he was there.
He fucking came in here and he starts talking about his ayahuasca trip, and it's like crazy. He went through some crazy shit apparently.
Yeah.
He tells us that at one point, in the middle of his trip, he meets himself on the mats, and then he starts rolling with himself. Like
Was this
for
like
our
a spirit
listeners.
journey or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
define
Hey,
that.
he was in the
Ayahuasca.
jungle.
Yeah, ayahuasca is just a big fucking drug trip. It's a huge drug trip that takes place for a couple of days.
Yeah, it's a hallucinogen.
Yeah. So and it's very legal in Peru. Very legal. And a lot of white people go there to do that.
Is it like peyote
Rich white
mixed
people
with
shit.
This is what rich white people do.
Yep, that's right. It's a rich white people thing to do.
When you doing it, Angelo?
Never.
I saw it on a documentary once.
I don't want to get inside this fucking head.
Right.
There's a
It's not like
Native
my legs are getting
American,
loose. I'll take it out.
There's a Native American version of that. And I can't
Peyote.
remember.
Peyote.
Peyote.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's the drug name. But I mean, they call it something.
Oh, a spirit journey.
Yeah,
Ah,
spirit
yeah,
journey.
that's what it is.
I
There's another name.
saw that about something about that on Family Guy. That was awesome. Peter had the trees talking to him. It was amazing.
I love
Definition
Family
of a
Guy.
tangent.
So, all right. Now you said the JKD, C-Lot, and Kali thing all went together.
Well, the reason for that is because of Dan Inosanto. Because after Bruce Lee died, he made a promise to Bruce that he would never teach Jeet Kune Do publicly. So what he did was he became fully immersed in Filipino martial arts. Now, the reason that he was able to learn Filipino martial arts from all these different martial arts instructors, which is unfucking heard of, like if you're training Kali under Angel Cabales, there's no way that another guy, there's no way like his competitor or, another Escrimador is going to teach you. Dan Inosanto's father, I can't remember if he was a dignitary or what it was that he did, but basically he was responsible for most of those Filipinos coming to this country and having their citizenship. So he would write a letter, hey, teach my son Danny, this Eskrima, this Kali, So Inosanto was very, very fortunate. Plus, he is such a nice guy. There's no way you could not like Gurdan. Gurdan's like salt of the earth, man. Salt of the earth. I tell people all the time, if you haven't trained with Dan Inosanto, you better do it now. And I don't use those three words together unless I'm trying to say, like, get off your fat ass and do it now because you're going to miss out. I missed out on training with Herman Sawanda. I missed out on training with the late Ted Lukai. I said, I'm going to do it next year. This year I'm going to buy this guitar, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And both of them died right after I said I wasn't going to go. Yeah. So don't ever miss those opportunities, man.
Right.
We live in a whole new world. But anyway, so that's how the Kali became synonymous, because Dan would go teach seminars and it would say, he's going to teach Kali, but guess what everybody asks? So what about Jeet Kune Do? So that's when the whole Jeet Kune Do concepts thing originated. And that's how Dan kept his promise to Bruce. He didn't teach Jeet Kune Do. He taught the concepts of Jeet Kune Do.
Why did Danny Nosato promise not to teach Jeet Kune Do to Bruce?
To the public?
Yeah, publicly.
I don't know. I'd have to look back in the books what Bruce's reasoning was for that. He didn't want the over-commercialization. Mm-hmm. That was a big thing. If you look at who Bruce liked to teach, he liked to teach two types of people that I can immediately think of. People that already had black belts and were very athletic, right? Very few, as I think back to the students, I can't think of many guys that weren't athletic. Oh, and I forgot to say Siva Tim Tackett. I got to train with Siva Tim Tackett a lot. I can't believe I forgot to say that. And Siva Tim just retired.
Yeah.
Right? He's not doing seminars anymore. You got to go to the garage. A fantastic instructor.
He got rid of the garage?
No, you have to go to the garage.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
And he's got a couple guys that they started like a thing and online.
The Wednesday night group.
Yeah, they're really good. I sparred with some of those guys at Magna Institute. They were tough guys.
What's the one guy? Blue. Something Blue.
Dennis Blue.
Dennis Blue, yeah.
Yeah, I've met him. I've never been to one of his classes. Bob Schott really liked his classes. Bob Schott was another affiliate, still is an affiliate of Magna Institute, and has a garage group in Canton area.
But yeah, I always liked watching the Wednesday night groups.
Yeah,
because they had like a throwback video one time of Bremer doing the hammer principle, and I was blown away.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it, but it was just like, that guy was like 67 years old.
Well, dude.
And, the
hammer principle was a funny thing,
What is the hammer principle for
I can't tell you because it's a secret, but I can tell you this. No, it really is. It's a Jeet Kune Do secret.
Really?
Yeah. It's a way to hit somebody without them knowing they're about to be hit. And it's not a powerful move, by the way, right?
Okay.
It's a way to trick your eyes in a close distance, okay? I can tell you that.
Okay.
But Siva Cass, his best friend was Chris Kent. He loved to fuck with Chris.
Okay.
And Siva Cass has a very different sense of humor. So he knew I was going to train with Chris at a seminar. He's like, hey, hoy, this is my Siva Cass imitation. And if Siva Cass ever listens to this, he'll know that's spot fucking on, even with my voice being off. It was, he'd say, Chris, here's what you got to do. Tell Chris Kent that I told you that the hammer principle is the most important principle in Jeet Kune Do. And that's really all you need to know. In fact, don't tell him I said it. Tell him Tim Tackett said it. That'll be better. So, and me, the consummate ball buster that I tend to be, I'm like, oh, all right, great. Right, so I get to the seminar, we do the whole seminar, and then we're out to dinner. And I remember we were at a pizza shop in Pennsylvania, and I said, hey, Sivu, Tim Tackett told me that the hammer principle is all I need. Why didn't you teach it? And Siva's face, it's all red, and he's like, God damn it, I hate it when guys say shit like that. It's not the only principle there is. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. He starts going on. And I couldn't hold it in. I'm like, I'm so sorry, Sivu. Sivu Cass put me up to that shit. He's like, God damn that guy. He loves to fuck with me, sometimes Chris, he'll call my school and I won't answer because I'm teaching. And this is Cass. This is Cass in the background. Chris, why aren't you answering your phone? It's your goddamn business. You should answer your fucking phone. And I'd laugh because he would say the same fucking thing to me. And I'd be like, oh, God, because I'm teaching a class. I'm a one-man show. Jesus.
So wait, so if I start taking the JKD classes, will I learn the hammer principle?
Only in phase 3. I don't teach it before. It's too advanced. Fuck it. I'm lying. You never know when I'll teach it. I might teach it in the morning. I don't know.
That's going to be in your head now.
No, because I only have a few good kickboxers.
No, he's got a
right
plan now.
Yeah.
Because he's already got his plan for tomorrow.
Man, what a plan.
That's right.
Oh, here we go. Busting my balls because I'm organizing my life.
Fucking
love it.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah. You just keep seeing it, brother.
We're talking a lot about JKD, of course, but what made you transition? Because you also teach us Jujitsu. So what made you transition?
Oh, yeah, but I didn't answer the other question you asked me. You asked me about Sealot. How Sealot got in.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't want to skip over that first.
Yeah, sure.
Because these two questions actually fit each other.
Okay.
So Silat started getting worked into the Jeet Kune Do.
What's Silat for a listener?
Penjak Silat is Indonesian grappling, often referred to as loose grappling. It has striking, it has grappling. It's a very loose type of throwing art. I think it's very similar to like Chinese fast wrestling.
When I first started studying here,
yes,
Silat was by far my favorite.
Oh yeah,
to do that at Kali.
Yes, it's very intricate. It's very
man, it's awesome.
Cerebral. Yes, it hurts a lot. No, my spine is all fucked up.
More than jiu-jitsu.
Oh my god.
Jiu-jitsu hurts.
Much more impact.
Yeah, because here's the thing. You just stand there while someone throws you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like you're sparring and you get to resist. No, someone just launches you across the room.
There's that head movement, right? Where it's
Buddha
arm,
Kapala.
and then you flip them. I still remember to this day, we were doing a drill where you were surrounded by a bunch of people, and then somebody would come in, you'd grab, and then you would essentially flip them, right?
And you know that Angelo one time. You ever see when you go to the grocery store and you're looking through the utensils and stuff to buy, and you're like looking for a spatula, and then there's that corkscrew, and you see that corkscrew, you know, at the end there, you know how that thing like spirals around. Angelo was a human corkscrew one night. Big Mark Avery did that technique that you're talking about, and I've never seen any man. Oh no, I've seen men fly in the air. I've never seen anybody corkscrew through the air. I'm pretty sure he broke a time-space barrier, time-sound barrier. I don't know what the fuck happened, man. He jumped off the floor after he spun around. He then like walked backwards and turned around 3 or 4 times and found the end of the row. I don't know how he did it.
So.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, just for the listeners, like, I'm about 155, 160 pounds.
How much is Mark?
And Mark is about 325.
Think of a giant bear.
Yeah.
Or a gorilla. A gorilla.
He was a bear-sized man, and this was my first Phase 2 class on a Tuesday night.
My God.
Right? And we were doing these, like, we were doing the plee-kit drills.
Yeah.
And then
drills,
we went to do that, whatever that's called. Where basically it was just where it was just one guy, and you go through, you'll feed him something, he'll do a technique.
Oh no, that was a gauntlet. We did a gauntlet.
Yeah. So I go to Mark, and Mark knows it's my first class, in Phase 2, right?
That's funny because Mark did this shit all the time to people.
Yeah.
He liked Angelo.
So I throw my punch at him, and before I know it, I'm in the air going boom, and I just fucking just land there, and my pride is what got me up, because Lord knows my body didn't want to.
That was great.
And I was only like, 26, 27 at the time.
You were a young boy.
Something like that.
What are you now, like 45?
Yeah, something like that. So I was young and resilient. Young and resilient. Yeah.
Right, I still remember, man, because I'll never forget. He grabbed my my head and my arm, and then he flipped me. And the thing about it wasn't just like a small drop like it usually was. It was just a huge, like the momentum, like picked me up off my feet, and I landed down. And then I just hear Jay going, "Hey, you okay, man?"
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah. Mark had 2 speeds: fast as you can and hard as you can.
Right.
That was it.
Dude, I still have a great story about Mark. Mark, he's a big guy, and we were doing.
Terribly.
Me too.
Yeah, man, he's great.
Yeah.
We were doing like some choke defense for Jujitsu, and I tried on him, and he does it, and it was like against the wall choke defenses. And he's like, "All right, you ready?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, and he fucking picks me up, like he makes this fucking noise. And the first thing I go is like, I don't know what the fuck you do. I forgot about the move. Practicing.
Listen, you got to have Angelo tell a story, because he tells it so much better than me. About the day Mark Avery choked Zach out and he thought he killed him. No, I was in the... So here's... I'll preface this story, okay? I had a young kid doing volunteer hours.
Okay.
Right? He was like... I think he was an Ignatius kid or a St. Anne's kid. And he was looking for time as a friend of mine's son. So he was in the back cleaning up leaves, right? He came in during the class. He said, "Hey, Mr. Hoy, can you check out the job I did? Make sure it's okay, blah, blah. Sign my sheet if it's okay." I go outside. I'll let Angelo take the story over from here because I wasn't in the room.
So, I was teaching I want to say it was either like something from side control or a guard pass.
We're doing jujitsu then.
To side control, yeah.
Yeah,
So we're doing jujitsu. So I'm teaching, blah, blah, blah. We go over it. And, I'm training with another person. The class is going on. And all I hear is out of nowhere, get up, little buddy! Oh my God! I killed him! What am I gonna... Mr. Hoy! Mr. Hoy! Right? Meanwhile, like, all right.
I'm outside.
So at the time, like, I don't know. I've been in the medical field for, I don't know, like 10 years. Like, I'm probably the most qualified to handle this situation. But Mark is freaking out so bad because somehow he's like, he tells Zach, let me show you this thing that, one of our
It was
instructors...
nothing you were drilling.
No. It was the farthest away from something that we were drilling. And he puts him in a rear naked choke. And, Zach being, 19, he wasn't going to tap.
Oh, my God.
So he didn't tap. Well, the kid goes unconscious, right? He starts doing the snoring and the twitching thing that people do when they go unconscious. Mark literally thought he killed him. So he's like, get up, little buddy.
Kid.
Yeah, I like that kid. He's a good kid. And then Chris walks out from the back, and Mark turned it around like Chris was the worst human in the big. Where were you? Where were I needed you? I thought I killed this kid, Mr. White. What is wrong with you?
Across the room, and I'm like, I was outside signing that kid's paper.
Meanwhile,
when I left, we weren't training chokes. Why? I wanted to show the kids something there. I learned it. I went to Tony's seminar, and he was showing me this half guard bullshit. And I added the bullshit.
Zach woke up like he had no clue what happened. He just got the best bear hug in the world, and not like a traditional bear hug. It was just a hug around the neck by a fucking human bear. He went out. So yeah, that's a good. Mark went at it every single time. Even at 54 years old when he left. By the time he was gone, 54 years old. He put
100%.
Yep.
Going back to the CLOT though, where you were explaining that.
So my first CLOT teacher would have been Guru Mark Harrell. He was a badass, man. Oh my God, that guy! It's a wonder I have any spine left. He was very mean to any of his ukis, which is the guy that's getting thrown. I'm sure there's pictures of me on the internet you could find. Blood coming out of my ear.
Oh wow!
Yeah, like coming out of my ear from getting kicked in the ear from him when I was down. His father actually was Guru Mark's father was original UDT, which is the frogmen, before they became the SEALs. And he was a badass man. He's a big dude too. Utmost respect for that guy's martial arts discipline, but he was a rough teacher, man. Really rough. Really kicked your ass. And then I started training with Siva Cass in '96, and I liked his style of CLOT more, And I enjoyed the CLOT a lot. It got into the JKD because of people like Herman Sawanda teaching at the Kali School, the Kali Academy, which was in Asana School. And then the Dutoirs. Paul Dutoirs is probably, I don't know. He's almost like we think of Grandmaster Helio in terms of spreading the art, Okay. Almost everybody you can track back and go, oh, that's because of Paul Dutoirs. Not everybody wants to admit that because there's two types of CLOT. There's the guys that are going to listen to this podcast and they've got voodoo dolls and they're poking my face with needles right now, and they're casting spells on me with their magic Chris swords. And then there's the other type of CLOT guys that just want to train and just want to beat the shit out of each other, right? And that's where Paul Dutoirs was. He was a badass man. He was a really tough dude, and his brother's was Victor Dutoirs, who was a different instructor than Paul by far. And I'm not meaning that in a negative way. I just mean he's a completely different. And Willem Dutoirs, you can Google all these people. But then there's another guy, another brother you never hear of, Maurice Dutoirs. Maurice Dutoirs was a pretty tough guy. Siva Cass trained with, I don't know how long he trained with Paul Dutoirs, but it was privately, like I do with Scott. It was privately, like once a week for years and years.
I want to talk to Scott and to be into one of our bar talk episodes, because I think he'd be a really good person to talk to when it comes to that.
He doesn't drink beer.
That's okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, we don't That doesn't. Yeah, no, it doesn't have to be.
Oh, okay. I thought when you said bar talk.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's just another premise of one of our other.
I think it'd be good.
things that we're
Have
trying.
you ever heard him on a podcast? I think he's good.
Oh, yeah.
What was he on?
He's on a podcast.
The Functional Meatheads podcast.
Functional Meatheads, yeah.
There was
Really?
another one too, yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
it was really good.
He was really good on that one.
But then you asked me about the jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. What got
How much
you
time
into
do we
it?
have?
As much time as you want.
So,
So we're probably gonna cut this into 2.
okay.
So we'll end this in like another 20. So
Okay.
you can tell that, and then we're gonna start up another one.
So my introduction to grappling was in 1993. There was a guy there at the school. His name was Bob Bonas. He's in prison now. He was a Cleveland cop.
Seems to be a trend.
I was just gonna say it seems to be a trend.
You can Google that too.
Because he instigates everybody.
So I didn't do anything to get Bob in prison. He's the one that decided to do illegal shit.
Yeah.
Really bad illegal shit. Anyway, so Bob comes up to the school. It was on a Saturday morning. Comes up to the school. I'm there because I'm always there, right? I was always a. I mean, you were a. You don't remember? You were a baby. My God.
2, I think.
Yeah. So.
Okay, young enough.
Bob comes in. He says, "Hey, you want to go train with Larry Hartzell?" And I go, "Who's Larry Hartzell?" And he goes, "He's one of Bruce Lee's original students." I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" He's like, "Jump in the car." I'm like, "What?" I don't even know this guy really, you know. So we drove out to Ursuline College. What was the name of the school? It was Northeast Ohio Grappling. I don't know. It was Ken Gleason, Jeff Starr, and Mike something. Jeff Starr is a Helson Gracie black belt. Oh yeah, man, those guys go way back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ken Gleason still trains JKD. I don't know if he has a school or not, but they were all under Freddie Thompson. They had all broken off from Freddie Thompson, I should say. And I went out there and trained with Larry Hartzell, and that ignited the grappling stuff in me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that same year or the year after, Hoist Gracie came to town for the first time.
Okay.
And his guy in this area, OG, Hoist Gracie's black belt here is Craig Kramer. You know, Craig had a school for a while and then opened and closed and had a couple different places. I don't know what he's doing right now, to be honest. But he's one of the. I mean, he is really he is the OG in this area, you know. So in the 90s, we were all trying to learn jiu-jitsu, but there was nothing here, right? A few of the guys bought the Gracie in Action tapes, but then they wouldn't share it.
Really?
No. And here's what happened. I was working construction to support the school. I was up on a ladder, and I was probably changing out a ceiling fan, because I remember the house we were working at. And I was working for a guy by the name of Gene Lee. It was T&G Construction. And Gene says to me, Gene liked to grapple. He was doing Sambo at the time. And he says, "Yeah, man, I really want to learn that Gracie Jiu-Jitsu self-defense." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "They're self-defense, man. It's awesome." I'm like, "No, they grapple." He's like, "No, dude, there's a lot more to it. Like, their self-defense is what they're known for." I'm like, "No, bro, they're known for the UFC for kicking everybody's ass on the ground." He's like, "No, I'm telling you, there's more." So fast forward, was my daughter born? I'm trying to remember if she was. I went to find a jiu-jitsu school, so I called this guy by the name of Chris Chard. Chris is a really good dude. At the time, he's a brown belt under Pablo Popovich. Mm-hmm. And I said, "Hey, bro, I've got a school. I want to train, but I don't want you to think that I'm going to try to bring this into my school." Really, from a JKD perspective, I just want to learn how the grappling worked, because we didn't have good grappling in Jeet Kune Do. It really sucked. Mm-hmm. It was very lame. And that's why it was a major weakness, man. I would grapple with guys at various schools and be like, "Fuck, I feel like I'm in the deep end of the pool and I can't swim and my swimmies fell off." That's what you ever wear those swimmies when you were a kid? God, I hope there's no pictures of me floating around in that. Get it floating around?
I actually wore them when I was 21 for my 21st birthday party.
That is awesome.
And I drank beer out of a snorkel.
There's the same guy that fucks up his neck on a slip and slide, though.
Listen.
Hey guys, how'd you hurt your neck? Somebody catch you in a triangle choke? I mean, what happened? You didn't tap to a can opener? Slip and slide. Slip and slide. Slip and slide.
I'm Navy. We're aquatic people.
So I started training Chris Chard. It was a really good time. I was there for about 3 months, but I could only go in on Sundays, so it was like once a week.
Yeah, I still remember. I think I had joined by that time, right? Is that
No, because that would have been.
Was it here?
No.
Oh, then never mind.
No, it was way back on Wallings. It would have been Melina's going to be 11 next week. Can you believe that? My daughter's going to be 11.
Yeah, man.
It
fucks me up knowing that my brother's going to be taller than me.
She was 6 months old when I was training with him.
Oh, wow.
Right? And the next person I went to train with this guy, Eduardo Barros. And I went out there and I took like a week or two of classes. And actually someone that we won't drop her name, but a not always nice person kind of turned me off to that jiu-jitsu thing. And I didn't want to go back out there. I mean, she just wasn't very nice, So I was looking for jiu-jitsu, right? Yeah. So I was looking for jiu-jitsu. And I was on the phone with my teacher, Siva Cass. It was 2011. It was June of 2011. Yeah, we did just move in here, didn't we?
Yep.
So June of 2011, I said, Sivu, I need to find jiu-jitsu. My JKD is lacking this aspect, right? Oh, Chris, you can just YouTube it and train it and develop your own. Well, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
It is, right?
Yeah.
You remember the first time we started grappling with the dumb shit we do to each other? I ended up jumping over and catching a knee to the balls. I'm like, I thought I was going to know.
There's some high-pitched sons of bitches, man.
So, oh my God. So he says, I gotta go back. I can't talk about my old teacher without imitating him. And imitation is the
biggest
flattery.
So I was very good. So there's a few friends of mine out in LA. If they hear this, like Marco or anybody, if they hear this, they'll love it. Marco's actually got a great imitation too, and don't deny it, Marco. He says, Chris, you know what you need to find? Long pause. A Pedro Sauer guy. And I said, who's that guy? Oh. Right? Who's that guy? Yeah. So he says, Pedro Sauer, that's who Inosano's training under, man. That he's really cool. He, if you have a school, like he's the perfect guy for you, which is very true. He's made his business, I think, very friendly to like karate guys and that.
For sure, yeah.
Especially karate guys.
That was his niche.
Yeah, right? So karate guys, unfortunate part is, karate guys, they like to promote you all the time. So that's a tough thing, because in jiu-jitsu, the promotions are much longer. So that's got to be hard for them to balance or unbalance. But anyway, so I was going to a Chris Kent seminar that weekend, bro. I was on the phone with Siva Cass on Thursday. And if you don't call this divine intervention or whatever, power suggestion, I don't know what you call it. Rob, you call whatever you want. I'm telling you what to call it, but you fucking call it whatever you want, okay? He's looking at me like,
I'm listening.
You keep talking about your goals, but I don't see anything happen. I'm down 11 pounds in 2 weeks, you motherfucker. My goals. Rob's
Easy with the feelings over there. Oh my
Sorry,
God.
I'm angry. Am I drinking Christmas ale? Who gave me Christmas ale? No, Rob's just being so quiet, I had to get you involved. So, I go out to see Chris Kent, and he's teaching a Jeet Kune Do seminar at Greg Smith's school out in Youngstown, which is a big karate school.
American Karate Studios.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, like, whoa, right? You've been out there when Pedro does seminars and that out there.
Yeah.
So, I'm downstairs because this has 2 levels. There's a mezzanine up above, right? I'm downstairs, and we're training the Pak Sao, and Siva Chris is talking about the Pak Sao. And don't laugh, because you're laughing because of that other jackass. You're like, got your power, Pak Sao, speed, he's got that fucking Alabama accent. And you're laughing at it. Every time I say Pak Sao, this is what he does. He laughs.
I can't help it.
You don't have to explain that to me. I didn't
you get your Pak Sao? You get your spare Pak Sao?
The same guy we were talking about earlier that certifies people on the weekend. He's got some videos available, but he's got a funny voice because he's from Alabama.
Oh, okay.
He's like, and he probably doesn't know. Anyway. Yeah. Find out who certified him, by the way. Because I can tell you they certified him in his own Jeet Kune Do. That's fucking hilarious. If that isn't the greatest joke in the world, I don't know what is. Sure, bro, I certified you in your own goddamn system.
Oh, yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And then they think it's funny. It's not fucking funny because people are like getting weekend certificates. God damn it, anyway.
Like the guy that promoted himself.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy. Oh.
So
fuck that guy.
I'm sort of like, I'm engaged in what's going on. But Chris was using his representative out there, Ryan Keller. And Siva Chris usually uses me for seminars. So instead of me being engaged in that, I kind of look up, I see a Brazilian flag.
Uh-huh.
And I go, the reason I said that he usually uses me is leading up to something. It wasn't trying to be like, I'm usually his guy. Right. So I look up, I see this Brazilian flag, and I bump the guy next to me like I just did to Angelo. I go, Gary, somebody teach jiu-jitsu here? The guy's name is Gary Bellish. And he says, yeah, Tony Rinaldi. And I said, you know the guy? Is he a good guy? He's like, yeah, he's a Pedro Sauer guy. Now, what are the chances that my teacher tells me 2 days before this to find a Pedro Sauer guy, and I'm in a school with a Pedro Sauer guy? And I'm like, bro, can you introduce me to him? He says, oh yeah, no problem. I'll introduce you to him. He'll be here any minute. So I see this group of guys come in. You talk about a fucking rough-looking group. Because Youngstown, there's something in the water out there. Right? I mean, half the people don't have teeth. Okay? Am I right or am I right?
It's probably not in
Then
the
they got
water.
knocked
That's
out.
where Doug
Then they
grew
got
up.
knocked out.
Stop it.
Yeah.
It is a very interesting area,
It's
man.
tough
Youngstown,
guys.
Boardman's where the school is, so it's actually a very wealthy area.
Okay.
But he had some tough looking motherfuckers come in there, you know. And then I see this redheaded guy, okay, who is missing teeth. He got a big thing of tobacco in his mouth, right?
Uh-huh.
Gary says, Chris, that's Tony. I'll introduce you. Hey, Tony, this is my friend Chris Hoy, you know. He owns a Jeet Kune school. Jeet Kune, is that what those guys are doing over there? That guy over there, like, slapping hands?
That sounds... Yeah.
Tony Rinaldi, nice to meet you. He says, I'll come down later. I ain't got time right now. I got to teach your kids class. I'll talk to you fuckers later. He walks away. It's my first introduction to this guy. I'm like, what the fuck was that? You know? So he goes upstairs, teaches his class. Of course, we go in the other side of the room for some reason. Maybe the karate kid was teaching the next class on that side. I don't know. Anyway, we go over there. And Siva pulls me aside. Siva Chris pulls me aside and says, hey, you mind doing some collie with me? I haven't showed this stuff to Ryan yet, yada, yada. I'm like, no problem, Siva. So I'm doing some collie drills with Siva Chris. And Tony comes down there. He's like, hey, come here. I'm in the middle of assisting him, you know, so I'm walking around. I'm like, yeah, what's up, man? Come on, I want to show you something. I said, Siva, I'll be right back. And Siva Chris is like, okay, no problem. You know, because Siva Chris is one of the nicest fucking guys in the world, man. Mm-hmm. He slept at my house a number of times. We had him out for seminars. I couldn't ask for a better house guest. You know, it's funny because I would always compare and contrast having Siva Cass and Siva Chris at my house. Mm-hmm. Siva Cass and Siva Chris are the best friends, okay? Siva Chris is at my house one night, and we had these ceramic knobs. I live in a century home, and we had these ceramic knobs in our shower. The ceramic knob broke off in Siva Chris's hand. Dude, I mean, this could have cut you to shreds, right? And for whatever reason, the ceramic just broke. Chris comes out with his British accent. I can't do a good British accent. So he goes, oh my God, Hoy, I'm so sorry. I broke your shower knob. Right? Now let me contrast that to what Siva Cass would have said. God damn it, Chris. This thing almost cut my hand to shreds. What the fuck's up with your house? Honest to God, that's the two guys. That's how polar opposite they are, and they're best friends, right? It's hilarious to see them together. And the magic between them, like when they're together, is absolutely outstanding. But anyway, so Tony pulls me aside. He's like, all right, mount me. I'm like, what? You know what the mount is? Yeah, I know what the mount is. Well, fucking mount me. Jesus Christ. So, I'm like, what the fuck is this guy's deal? You know? So I mount him. He says, all right, choke me. All right, you got it? Okay, watch this. Grab your hand here. Grab your elbow here. Now I put my foot there. And I knew what he was doing. You know, I knew the Upa, I thought. You know, I didn't fucking know the Upa, by the way. I thought I knew the Upa. I don't know if I know the Upa today. Yeah. He Upas me. He says, now you do it to me. So we're training this, like, off on the side. Then he brings me a bunch of Pedro Sauer stickers. He's like, here, take these. I'm like, thanks, bro. Well, listen, here's the deal, man. That's why I gave him the stickers. I told him I wanted to start a Jujitsu program.
Okay.
And I said, I want to start a Jujitsu program at my school, but I have no idea how. I already have a school, and I really want to get this going. I think the grappling is so important, and the Jujitsu is so important, and we've got to figure it out. Like, I don't care if it means me coming out to you once a week, driving out to Youngstown, you know, yada, yada, yada. So he says this. He's like, all right, tell you what to do. Because he thought I was full of shit. I'll schedule a seminar with you. Here's my number, right? Call me tomorrow. Whatever. See if you call me. So I call him the next day. I didn't think you'd call me. Fucking said I'd call you. He's like, all right, let's do a no-gi seminar at your place. We'll see how the interest is. Okay. You went to that one?
Oh, yeah.
How many people were there?
Probably 14.
I think more.
Maybe more? I don't know.
It was pretty packed. He couldn't believe there were people here. Right, so he comes out, does a seminar, grapples with all of us. No-gi seminar, right?
Oh, God.
And I think Sylvester was the toughest guy that he had to fight, right? So, Sylvester was an old guy. He used to train with us. He was telling me he was old like 20 years ago. Yeah, Sly. Yeah, he used to tell me when he was like 40. He was like, I'm old. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Fuck, right? I'm young, brother. Look at me, I'm 27.
Vampire.
Still.
So we bring him out, and he says, all right, listen, you want to get a jiu-jitsu program going, here's what you got to do. You got to get geese, okay? All right. So, talk to whoever fucking guys are, and they do whatever these guys do, this slapping hand stuff. And that's how he talks. He's got these long... And he says, buy geese. Okay, how do we buy geese? You can buy them from me, I don't care. How much are they? I don't know. Well, you want me to buy them? You can't tell me how much they charge people? It's like $75 or $85, Chris. I don't fucking know. I'm fucking like, all right. So the guy he was dealing with was Scotty from On the Mat, right? It was like way back then. Like that's who his guy was. He called Scotty over there. So I call him up. I'm like, hey, Tony. I call him up like the next week. Tony, I got money for 18 geese. Silence. Chris, hang on. What'd you just say? I said 18 guys paid me for their geese. I'm going to bring it out to you Saturday. You got 18 guys fucking pay for geese. And I'm like, yeah. How'd you do that? I told him I'm going to start a jiu-jitsu program. Get the fuck out of here. Like, Tony, we just had this conversation. Yeah, I didn't think you were serious. I got this other fucking asshole down the street. He says he was going to bring me up for a seminar. I went up to a fucking seminar, and the guy never brought me back. He didn't fucking order geese. I thought you were like him, a fucking yo-yo. I'm like, what the fuck? So that's how we started training jiu-jitsu. We went under Tony in 2011, and I won't go through all the details. We were, Tony, God, how long were we with him? 5 years?
5 years, yeah.
Yeah, and Tony's a great instructor. It's very far, Youngstown to Cleveland.
Yeah.
So I started training also due to Bill Jones had actually recommended I started training with Scott Burr back in 2013. Yeah, it's been 4 years. October 2013, I started taking privates from Scott. And I guess, like, how many years have we been with Scott? I mean, we officially went under him in 2016 or 15? I think it was 16. Yeah.
You said it was 16.
Yeah, it was 16, right? So I was training with Scott for 2 years. 3 years? 2 years.
3.
3 years. And I realized, once again, I couldn't serve two masters. I had to pick. I had to figure it out. And that's when, I had to call Tony and say, Tony, I'm really sorry, but, I got to figure out what to do here. And we went under Scott Burr. Scott Burr is an amazing fucking instructor. I think the world of him. He is the epitome of discipline. He is, under, he's a black belt under Steve Maxwell. Wasn't he Steve's first black belt?
What?
Wasn't he Steve's first black belt?
Yeah, he was Steve's first black belt.
Yeah. So that's how we do it, and we've got the JKD here in Cali and the C-Lot and the Jiu-Jitsu. And the kids' classes, because I fucking love teaching kids now. I don't know what happened. My daughter happened. That's what happened, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I love the kids' classes are a lot more fun than you fuckers. They laugh at my jokes.
God, it's fun.
It is.
Because you got jokes.
I got great jokes. Did I ever tell you the one about the fish?
Without an eye?
No, no, that's another one. What do you call a fish with knees?
What do you call it?
Tootie fish. You get it?
I think with that, I'm going to have to end this episode. I thank you guys for joining us on this episode of the Desert. Yeah, no, thank you. You want to plug any of your stuff? Anything?
Oh, you can check us out on clevelandselfdefense.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, clevelandjkd.com. YouTube.
What's your Facebook, Instagram, and what are they on there?
Yeah, Hoy's Martial Arts.
Hoy's Martial Arts, okay.
Yeah, I don't remember all the stuff.
I figured I would ask.
You guys gave me these strong beers. You're like, here, drink these beers and talk about Bruce Lee. And I'm like, okay.
A marketing genius.
Yeah.
And we'll have you on again.
Shout out to Great Lakes Brewing Company for the wonderful turntable Pilsner.
Well, we are the designated...
Maybe we can get Joe to plug in the the websites and
Oh yeah, it'll be
into the show notes.
into the doobly doos.
Yeah,
So
Joe.
don't worry about that. Thank you very much for
Thank you, Joe.
joining the Designated Drinkers podcast. And we are the Designated Drinkers. Keep on drinking.